Hello, welcome to Global Matters, a program where we present to you global issues that shape the world, issues of international relevance and global agenda that determine our national and common interest. Happy New Year. My name is Tunde Alabi and it's a great pleasure to have you join us today. Earlier in the week, the United States seat of democracy, the Capitol Hill, was invaded by Trump supporters. The mob action on the Capitol Hill took the world by surprise as many awaited the outcome of the electoral vote meant to certify the victory of President-elect Joe Biden and his vice, Kamala Harris. Congress eventually certified Biden's victory, but the world will not forget in a hurry how the resolve of the biggest democracy in the world was tested and almost brought to his knees by a relentless mob that believed the mandate of the incumbent President Donald Trump had been stolen through a fraudulent electoral process. However, around the world, there have been condemnation. The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson described the pro-Trump rioters as disgraceful, while his Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau says everything will return to normal in the US shortly because America is strong and has a very strong democratic institution. Consequently, there have been calls from some members of the U.S. Congress for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, claiming President Trump is no longer fit to govern the country. Meanwhile, all eyes are on the U.S. Our focus today on the program is, however, not on the United States, but rather on the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The AfCFTA will integrate 1.3 billion people for a market value of $3.4 trillion. That will be the largest free trade area since the establishment of the World Trade Organization, as it seeks to establish a single market for goods and services, free movement for business travelers, and of course investments. AfCFTA Start Trading 2021 was launched January 1st with key figures from across the continent engaging through a webinar. Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo says the AfCFTA is an opportunity to ensure structural transformation, stimulate innovation, and tariff liberalization schedule to ensure access by all state parties, while the South African president believes it's a call to silence the guns in Africa.
In Ghana, we have embraced fully this partnership between government and the private sector to ensure maximum benefit is derived from the AfCFTA. Indeed, a series of public sensitization forums across all 16 regions of the country have been organized to update the private sector on the implementation of AfCFTA protocols, the operational requirements for effective trading in the market, and preparations for the start of trading. Public education will be intensified further after the start of trading. I'm hopeful that the state parties which are yet to submit their market access offer, that is the tariff liberalization schedule, to the AU Secretariat, would do so by the end of January 2021. This will ensure full access to AfCFTA trading by all state parties. In addition, all outstanding issues related to the various AfCFTA operational instruments, which were launched at the 2019 AU Extraordinary Summit, should be finalized and made operational by the end of March 2021. These include the online platform for tariff negotiations, the Africa Trade Observatory, ATO, the digital payment and settlement systems, the online mechanism for reporting and monitoring of non-tariff barriers, the mobile application for AfCFTA business activities, the Mansa repository platform to serve as a centralized database for customer due diligence, and the $1 billion United States AfCFTA adjustment facility to manage the adverse effects of revenue losses for selected countries.
That's the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo. Meanwhile, 54 out of 55 countries have signed the agreement, while 33 countries have ratified it. Now, what we're looking at on the program today is Africa really prepared for a single market regime, considering the recurring issues of xenophobia in South Africa, high business registration taxes imposed on traders, Nigerian traders, especially in Ghana, the unilateral border closure by the Nigerian authorities. I mean, what is the status of digital reporting system, custom union, volatile political landscape? Joining me to look at the issues and the challenges, plus the prospect of AfCFTA is Ambassador Dr. Camillus Emenike Konko. Dr. Camillus Konko served the United Nations in New York and Kosovo as the Civil Affairs Officer. Ambassador Konko was also the manager of internationalization and business of the European Union Hero Team Business Networking in 1997. He's currently the president of Camillus Life Care Foundation and the coordinator of Europe Africa Connect. Joining Ambassador Konko from New Jersey, United States of America, is Dr. Bello Kazim. Dr. Bello is a principal partner and CEO of Africa Capital and Equity Funds Limited in New York. He is also the president of the Nigerians in Diaspora, New Jersey chapter. He serves as the chairman of the steering committee of the proposed Nigeria Federal Credit Union. When we come back from this break, I'll be joined by my guests and we'll be looking at the challenges and the prospects of AfCFTA. Don't go away.
Part of trade of the African Continental Free Trade Area could not have come at a more opportune time for our continent, as we are recovering from the devastating impact of the pandemic and decades of triple challenges of extreme poverty, unemployment, and inequality, which has hampered our resolve to shackle off the stubborn legacy of colonialism. I have no doubt that the start of trade of the AfCFTA will begin an overdue process of industrialization, increasing inter-Africa trade, and the speeding up of economic integration towards sustainable development of our continent. As we usher in a new era of trade and economic development on our continent, we should not lose sight of our common priority of silencing the guns. There can be no development without peace in Africa. Therefore, we should speed our efforts towards the implementation of the AU Master Plan for silencing the guns.
All right, welcome to the program, and the program is to Global Matters. We're taking a look at the African Continental African Continental Free Trade Area. On the program today, we're looking at the problems and the challenges. I'm joined now by Dr. Camillus Konko from Vienna in Austria and Dr. Kazim Bello in New Jersey. Let me start with Dr. Kazim Bello. Dr. Kazim Bello, thank you for your time in joining us on the program today. Looking at what we're talking about on the program today, Africa moving towards a single market regime. Is it time? Are we ready? Is Africa ready for a single market regime? Considering some of the recurring problems it's had, even Nigeria with ECOWAS and other African countries.
Yes, thank you very much, the Anchor and the AIT for bringing this program at this point in time. It is never a better time than now that the AfTA has actually fully started operational. Africans have been in talk about this trade union bloc for a while, and thank God that it's happening now. To answer your question, there is never a time to just start a process like this. We might have a lot of challenges as we are going to look at during this short event, but the challenges are going to be there. The point is you have to start from somewhere, and we have to also recognize that most of the African countries that we are talking already have what we call a regional trading bloc. And we need to look at those regional trading blocs vis-a-vis what has happened in the past. Some of them have been in existence for more than 3-4 decades, like ECOWAS and the SADC, the South African Development Trade Bloc. So we will look at those minute segments of the trade bloc, and then look at the perspective of an overall African trade bloc. It is the right time. I don't think there's any time that we can consider right or wrong. The point is that we have to start, and then there's a starting point is that we need to navigate the process all along in order to succeed.
Absolutely. The point is we just have to start. Dr. Koko, let me ask you, you have functioned in several capacity, both at the United Nations level and at the same time at the European Union level. You as the coordinator of Europe African Connect, if you want to take a look at how the European Union single market functions, the free movement, do you think Africa can actually achieve that momentum in its drive?
Thank you very much for having me on this program, and let me also thank those of you behind AIT who have put this program together to explore and clarify certain issues, underlying issues behind the successful implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Association initiative. We also extend the expression of thanks to the leaders of Africa who consider the implementation of this initiative worthwhile at this time. This is a very, very important milestone in the history of Africa. Yes, to your question, is Africa ready? Can we, emulate certain things from the experience of the European Union? Well, I wouldn't want to say Africa is ready or Africa is not ready to implement this program at this time. Diplomatically said, I would prefer to say that there are gray areas that need fine-tuning. If you look at the European Union, when the original initiative was implemented, that was called the ECA, the European Economic Areas, EAC or ECA. The idea was actually to do exactly what the African Union is trying to implement Africa right now, to create a situation where you have free movement of people, free movement of goods. Before you implement that, before the European Union implemented that, there were pre-initiative programs that were first implemented. For example, the so-called European Union Stability Pact. That was a program initiated and implemented to bring the various parts of the European Union, of Europe, at par with each other, to some extent, at the same level of development and economic infrastructural development, to bring them at a certain level so that the free movement of goods and people can be implemented. I do not feel very secure in claiming that Africa has gotten to that extent. There are a lot of issues that need to be fine-tuned. There are lots of issues, there are a lot of things that need to be done. If you take a look at the ECO, we understand that the monetary policy or the monetary instrument that was being tinkered with ran into a ditch. I understand France was doing something that was not helpful to the implementation of the monetary policy. So how do you implement such a continental free trade area policy if you don't have
strength.
The monetary policy in place.
Absolutely.
So these are the things that need fine-tuning before the men.
So Dr. Konko, do you think at the launch on January 1st was kind of too early to call, considering that things that are required have not been put in place?
As my colleague said, there is no time you will say this is the best time to implement the project. It is like an aircraft that is taking off. There will be turbulences, there will be fine-tuning, there will be some things to do before you enter into cruise. So I wouldn't say that this is the wrong time to implement it. But as we move along, there will be a lot of things that will need to be fine-tuned so that the whole project can be successfully implemented.
Dr. Kazim, taking a look at the success of ECOWAS, would you think this project has some benefits for us? Looking at how far ECOWAS has gone, Nigeria's unilateral decision to close its border, Ghana's unilateral decision to hop and shut shops of Nigerian traders. What is the way forward for us?
Well, thank you very much. When you say what is the way forward, I'm assuming that you are looking at, you are isolating Nigeria in this question. But we don't need to isolate Nigeria. We need to also look at what is the body language of the rest of Africa. What is their level of anticipated participation without any influence in this program? Because the African Trade Union is not just a platform. It is a regional platform that must have the right institutional perspective to work. To answer your question directly, when you look at ECOWAS has been around for almost 4 for 5 decades now. And despite the fact that we have been around for so long, up to now, we are not able to define a common currency. We have not been able to overcome the issue of integration in terms of movement of goods and personnel and skills. We have not been able to integrate trade activities that will be mutually beneficiary to most of the African countries. With most of us, let me put it this way to you: between 2018 and 2020, ECOWAS alone, the GDP of ECOWAS country, in that perspective, was about $1.2 trillion US. Nigeria leading the pack with about $420 million. Let's use the 2019 figures. Now, within that $1.2 trillion trade activities in ECOWAS countries, we need to ask ourselves how much of that actually was an intertrade within the ECOWAS country itself. It is less than 15%. Nigeria trading partner remain China, Europe, and America. Cote d'Ivoire, which is probably the next economy to Nigeria, trade more with China, France, and Germany. So you find out that there are institutional functioning strategy that has to be in place. And those institutional strategy are not there yet. But that does not mean that we cannot start this trade block. We have to jumpstart the process and then navigate through the process and putting in those institutional structure like Doctor had just mentioned. Europe, they didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, let's start a trade union. There have been a combination of event and integration that has been going on for almost 200 years, not even 50 years, within the European continent itself, that led to the European Union. And even within the confines of the European Union, there are challenges that they are facing, mounting challenges so to say that Britain have to exit, and some other countries are not even actively participating. So we in Nigeria, definitely Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, followed closely by South Africa and Egypt.
Dr. Bello, because of our time, let me just ask you this last question, your thoughts. Would you find out that President Muhammadu Buhari hesitated in signing this agreement because there were fears that Nigeria may become a dumping ground? Is that fear really real that Nigeria being the largest market, the biggest population, may become the dumping ground through this agreement?
Well, yes, I've read a lot about that. I've taken a lot of interest in this trade commission and trade agreement, and I've seen a lot of hesitance from some professionals in Nigeria, fearing that Nigeria could be a dumping ground. We have to first of all understand that Nigeria has the market. Trade and economy is driven by market and the population. So it can be a fear that can be entertained in the short run. But that depends on how Nigeria reacts to that. Because the question we need to ask ourselves in the first place, which country in Africa in the first place has that production capacity to even satisfy Nigerian market? Which country? What are the products they can dump in Nigeria? That's the question we should ask ourselves first. The products are not even there for us to bring in from those countries. So why don't we be proactive in Nigeria? We can be proactive in Nigeria by expanding the opportunity for Nigerian companies, especially small scale industry, to take an active role in even going back to those countries in a proactive way.
Dr. Bello, thank you so much. Let me go to Ambassador Konko. That same question I'm going to throw to you. Are there opportunities for small, medium-scale businesses in Nigeria through this agreement? Just in one few seconds, sir.
Well, in a few seconds, yes, there are quite a lot of advantages and benefits for small-scale industries, small-scale enterprises in this program. However, whether the small-scale industries and enterprises are going to take up that advantage will depend on the ability of individual countries to fortify, to incubate, and empower, provide enabling business environment for the small-scale industries. Otherwise, they are going to be swallowed by the big fishes.
I've been speaking on this program with Ambassador Dr. Camillus Emenike Konko. Ambassador Konko was a United Nations envoy and served in New York and Kosovo as a civil affairs officer, and currently he is a coordinator of the Europe-Africa Connect. And also joining us from New Jersey on this program has been Dr. Bello Kazim. Dr. Bello Kazim is the CEO of Africa Capital and Equity Funds Limited in New York, and is the president of the Nigerians in Diaspora New Jersey chapter. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time here on the program. Very well appreciated. We'll call again as we take a deeper look at this issue. Thank you so much. And this is how far we can go on the program this afternoon. My name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure to know that you are here again in this new year. Continue to travel around the world and bring you more information. Stay tuned every Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week.